palms flat on that tabletop. If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels of that sawed off.
Howdy, Vault Riders. Sam here. So we've already covered the brutal classics in part 1 and the grindhouse oddities in part 2. And if you somehow missed those, well, there's some links waiting for you at the end of the video. Now that's 36 films in this series. Today, we're gonna hit the home stretch, the modern bloodbaths. From the 2000s to now, these are the filmmakers who dug up the Old West, stitched it to some horror flicks, prestige dramas, and pulp mashups, and then just let it bleed all over the screen. They may have shinier cameras and fancier budgets, but they still carry the same mean streak that's been part of the West since day one. So pour yourself a stiff one, because these modern tales, they prove the West didn't get any kinder with age. It just got louder, bloodier, and a whole lot colder. Let's ride.
You the one killed our friend?
That's right. I shot the boy too, and I enjoyed it.
What you got here is a film that lulls you into thinking it's a slow, old-fashioned Western about some pre-grazers versus a greedy rancher. And then in the final act, it just hits you with one of the nastiest gunfights ever committed to film. Kevin Costner, he directs and stars alongside Robert Duvall. And the first half, it's all about their friendship, some loyalty, and the tension simmering under the surface. But when the final fight breaks, it's as raw as a busted lip. You got shotguns roaring at point-blank range, and Costner, he don't flinch from showing what they do to a body. One villain is famously taken a blast to the face, and half his head vanishes in a spray of blood and bone. The pistols bark loud enough to rattle your teeth. And men, they don't die clean. They flail, bleed, and just drop hard. Some characters miss the shots, scramble for cover, and fumble for reloads. It's chaos, not choreography. What makes the shootouts brutal, it isn't just the gore, it's the authenticity. You feel the panic, the ringing in your ears, and the desperate scramble to stay alive. This film is shot just plain as day. It's all about survival. And by the end, the town street looks like a butcher's floor. Open range proves you don't need excess, you just need honesty, and guess what? Honesty hurts.
You will die one day, just like me. But your pain will be worse. Your heart's savage.
Now, this ain't your grandpappy's Western movie. American Primeval is a 6-episode Netflix miniseries that drags the frontier into modern drama territory. Blending historical fiction and savage survival, this is set during the 1857 Utah War and centers on a mother and her son fleeing death and trying to get to the West, while everything is just trying to kill them. The brutality here is relentless and unforgiving. One minute you're settling in to follow a found family trek across the freezing plains, and the next, you got your Mormon militias disguised as native warriors, and they're raining lead and slashing throats in a camp ambush that looks like hell broke loose. Guns, arrows, and treachery, all stealing breath like a prairie fire. Tension rides like every frame colder than a frozen creek. The violence, it ain't pretty. It's vicious. It's intimate.
I just want to see my family. My children, can you please help me?
And leaves you feeling like a bug caught under a boot. And that founding of the West myth, it gets stomped flat and left to bleed. The series doesn't so much portray the brutal West as it invites it home for dinner, and then serves it with extra hot sauce.
Mention a mother and son on the run from back east someplace. It's said there's considerable reward for a woman described, not so much different than this one.
Son of a bitch.
Mr. Dogburn?
What is it?
I'd like to talk to you a minute.
What is it?
They tell me you're a man with true grit.
What do you want, girl? Speak up at supper time.
The Coen brothers' True Grit, it ain't interested in polishing legends. It's about showing how merciless frontier justice could really be. 14-year-old Matty Ross hires Rooster Cogburn. He's a whiskey-soaked marshal played by Jeff Bridges to go hunt down the man who killed her father.
I'm looking for the man who shot and killed my father, Frank Ross, in front of the Monarch boarding house. The man's name is Tom Cheney. They say he's over in Indian Territory, and I need somebody to go after him.
Along the trail, they meet hangmen, some outlaws, and corpses left behind like mile markers. The violence, it ain't flashy, but is unflinching. Men are gunned down mid-sentence, bodies jerk and crumble in the dirt, and then there's this one grisly bit where a man's fingers get lopped off before he's finished off with a bullet. Hangings are shown without mercy, and the condemned are just twisting on the rope as the crowd looks on. Ain't none of it stylized, it's just there, like bad weather rolling in. What makes True Grit brutal, it isn't the gallons of fake blood, it's the cold matter-of-factness of it all. The Coens don't give you time to admire a duel or cheer for a clean kill. They show the violence as ugly, clumsy, and final. By the time Maddie gets her revenge, it feels less like a triumph and more like the West's cruel sense of bookkeeping. Watching it's like biting into cornbread and finding out somebody baked the nail inside.
Mr. Cogburn, in your 4 years as U.S. Marshal, how many men have you shot?
Shot or killed?
Let us restrict it to killed so that we may have a manageable figure.
About 12, 15.
Hush.
I wish to present you with a proposition.
America, it had its Wild West. In Australia, they had their Outback. And the proposition, it makes it clear that both were meaner than a two-headed wrangler in a feed sack. Ray Winston plays a weary lawman who captures two outlaw brothers. Instead of dragging them to the noose, he cuts a deal. Kill your older brother, Arthur, or your younger one hangs.
You want me to kill me, brother? I want you to kill your brother.
That's not justice. That's just cruelty wrapped up in a uniform. The landscape itself is half the brutality. You got heat shimmering off the dirt, flies crawling over open wounds, and men so sun-baked they look ready to crack in half. Violence comes sudden and ugly. There's nothing noble here, just folks making choices that taste bitter no matter how you chew them. What makes the proposition so brutal is its refusal to let you breathe. Every scene just piles on the misery, whether it's the physical pain of floggings or the moral weight of impossible decisions. It's a Western stripped to the bone. No romance, no heroes, just blood, heat, and regret.
One more crack about the Irish, Mr. Lamb, and I'll shoot you. Am I clear?
Oh, as the waters of Ennis, sir. Let us drink then to the Irish. No finer race of men hath ever peeled a potato.
Why do you let him do this? I'll never be like you. This is no way to live. I'd rather die first.
If the devil ever did ride the frontier, he probably looked a lot like Guy Pearce in Brimstone. Dakota Fanning, she plays Liz, a mute midwife who's hunted through different stages of her life by Pearce's sadistic preacher. And let me tell you what, this preacher is colder than a banker's handshake in January. The film's brutality, it builds chapter by chapter. We see Liz being whipped, hunted, and forced into situations that's gonna make you squirm. The preacher's violence, it isn't fast, it's methodical. Like a man savoring every ounce of control he can wring from someone else's suffering. Koolhoven films it all with a grim patience, dragging out the dread until you're ready to crawl out of your seat. The cruelty here, it ain't just physical, it's spiritual in nature.
Does she not know that her body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which she received from God?
Watching Brimstone is like watching a cat toy with a mouse. Only this cat, it's wearing a clerical collar, quoting scripture while sharpening its claws. Some folks said this was just too much. I say, that's exactly what put it on the list.
She deserves to be free. You think you can come in here and take that which belongs to me?
Yeah. What do you think?
Victory. Or death.
Leave it to the Japanese to take a spaghetti western, lace it with samurai steel, and then serve it up dripping with blood like it's a rare steak. Sukiyaki Western Django, it's gleefully just over the top. Part homage, part parody, and just pure part massacre.
Stranger.
Cowboys and samurais clash, and every fight ends with someone missing a limb, a head, or a few gallons of blood. The violence, it's a bit cartoonish, but that doesn't make it easy to watch. Gatling guns mow down crowds in fountains of red. Sword fights end with geysers spraying like busted water mains. The director films it with a wink, but he doesn't pull back. If anything, he leans in harder. It's absurd, it's messy, and it's got a body count higher than most Civil War battlefields. What makes it brutal, it isn't the realism, it's the excess. This film drowns the screen in so much carnage, you stop keeping count and just brace yourself for the next splatter. Watching it feels like eating ghost peppers on a dare. Ridiculous, painful, and just unforgettable. Hostiles, it doesn't bother with a warm-up, because it opens up with a Comanche raid that wipes out a settler family, and it's about as welcome as a tornado on wash day. The brutality of that first scene, it sets the tone for the rest of the film. Ain't nobody safe, and every mile of the trail, it's paid for in blood.
They're sleeping.
Christian Bale plays Captain Blocker.
When Yellowhawk and his dog soldiers got done with them, and there wasn't a... Don't you dare laugh.
He's a man ordered to escort a dying Cheyenne chief and his family across some hostile territory. Along the way, they're attacked by Comanche, ambushed by settlers, and betrayed by their own fears. The violence, it's intimate and ugly. Tomahawks are splitting skulls, knives are plunging in close, and gunfights that end with men choking on their own blood. This film, it's exactly as ugly as it needs to be. What adds to the brutality in Hostiles, it's the emotional weight.
When we lay our heads down out here, we're all prisoners. I hate them. I got a war bag of reasons to hate them.
Every character carries some scars, some on the outside, most of them on the inside. By the end, you're just left with a sense that no one really survives the frontier. They just walk away with fewer pieces than they started. Watching it is like carrying a pack mule loaded with lead. You feel the strain every step of the way.
Grab Jacob Fair.
I'll meet you at the top of the ridge.
Wesley, come with us.
If I don't, they're gonna take it all or burn it down.
Let them. Please come.
Daddy,
Run for the
please
door,
come.
girls. Run for the door. Please come.
Let's go. Run, girls, run!
Let's go, girls.
Go!
Run, girls.
If you've seen The Revenant, you probably still wake up sweating from that bear attack. Leonardo DiCaprio's Hugh Glass, he gets mauled within an inch of his life. You got bones crunching, skin tearing, and the sound alone is enough to make you want to swear off camping forever. It's one of the most unflinching animal attacks ever filmed, and the film, it doesn't slow down after that. Glass, he's left for dead by his fellow trappers.
Don't want to ask questions? What you want to ask? What you want to know? Ask it. You want to know why you left Miss Glass back there for dead? Huh?
Which means we're treated to 2.5 hours of him just crawling through misery. He's got festering wounds, frostbite, and fights with men just as desperate as he is. There are scalping scenes that are gonna make you wince, ambushes where arrows drop men like flies, and hand-to-hand brawls that leave both sides looking like they got fed through a meat grinder. The brutality, it's as messy as a hog pen after a rainstorm. You feel every scrape, every bruise, and every ragged breath. By the time Glass faces down Tom Hardy's Fitzgerald, you're just worn out just watching it. This ain't frontier adventure, it's frontier endurance. Surviving the wilderness here looks about as fun as trying to wrestle a grizzly with a pocket knife. And the movie, it makes damn sure you feel it.
You came all this way just for your revenge, huh? Will you enjoy it, Glass? 'Cause there ain't nothing gonna bring your boy back.
I'll give you he got guts. But in the brains department, you're like a man who took a high dive in a low well.
If you were to lock a powder keg up in a cabin and lit the fuse, you get the Hateful Eight. Tarantino, he throws a group of liars, killers, and some backstabbers into a snowstorm hideout, lets paranoia simmer until it just boils over into major carnage. The violence, when it does come, it's vile and unrelenting. You got poison coffee that leads to one character vomiting blood across the room like a busted fire hydrant. Shotgun blasts tear torsos apart at point-blank range.
You either give up by the time I count to 3, or I shoot Damagoo in the head.
Just spraying chunks across the walls and the floor. By the final act, the cabin looks less like a hideout and more like a slaughterhouse. But what makes it truly brutal, it's the build-up. Tarantino makes you sit with these characters as the tension mounts.
Gentlemen, since we may be trapped here, close together like, for a few days.
And when that dam finally breaks, it's like opening floodgates of gore. Every death is messy, every portrayal is cruel, and the final moments are so soaked in blood, you almost expect the snow outside to turn red. Watching the Hateful Eight, it's like playing cards with cheaters, where the prize, it ain't money, it's who gets to crawl out alive.
I didn't drag her stinking ass up this goddamn mountain just for you to break her neck on the outskirts of town.
You the one handed her my goddamn letter. I didn't give it to her, I give it to you.
Are you going to shoot me?
That depends. Do you see me?
Now I know some folks are gonna argue that No Country for Old Men, it don't count as a Western. But let's be honest here, folks. When you've got dusty Texas highways, a relentless killer, and a trail of bodies, it's wearing the boots, even if it doesn't ride a horse. Javier's Anton Chigurh, he might be the coldest villain to ever step onto this list.
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
You mean the nature of this conversation?
I mean the nature of you.
And he don't need a six-shooter, just a captive bolt pistol and a coin toss.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
The brutality comes from how quick and matter-of-fact it all is. A man begs, and then he's gone. A shot rings out in a quiet street, and someone's bleeding out before you even realize the fight had started. There ain't no build-up, no heroic standoffs, just death arriving like the bill collector, efficient and unstoppable. That motel shootout, with bullets ripping through walls and men scrambling for their lives, it might be one of the tensest sequences in modern cinema. What makes it brutal? It isn't the gallons of gore, it's inevitability. Chigurh doesn't snarl or gloat, he just keeps on coming.
Just how dangerous is it?
Compared to what? The bubonic plague?
And the Coens, they don't give you music or theatrics to soften the blow. Watching it feels like waiting on a storm. You just know it's gonna hit. You just don't know how hard.
Maybe he's the one who needs to be worried about me.
He isn't. Yeah. You're not cut out for this. You're just a guy who happened to find those vehicles.
And beat our ass to death with it, right in front of both y'all.
Easy, big fella.
Then we can examine the 3 dimples inside Vermilion's skull.
Tarantino's Django Unchained. It's a revenge tale that bathes itself in red. Jamie Foxx, he plays Django, and he's a freed slave turned bounty hunter.
Yes, I do. Stop antagonizing Candy.
I'm not antagonizing. I'm intriguing him.
Carving a bloody trail through the antebellum South in search of his wife. From the opening slave fighting ring to the final Candyland shootout, this film goes at brutality like a starving hound on a bone. The violence is both cathartic and grotesque. Blood sprays in arcs so wide that make a rodeo clown duck. Men are shot off their feet in clouds of crimson. Slaves are torn apart in brutal dog attacks. And Leonardo DiCaprio's plantation, it burns with cruelty and rage.
What did you say, boy?
Calm down, Butch.
The Candyland Massacre is one of the wildest shootouts Tarantino he's ever filmed. Walls splattered, men shredded, and Django just grinning through the chaos. But beneath the pulp, the violence carries a true weight. It's aimed squarely at America's ugliest history. Tarantino, he don't flinch from the cruelty of slavery, and when Django finally gets his revenge, it feels both outrageous and righteous. Watching it is like seeing the Western myth turned inside out. It's still bloody, still brutal, but this time, the man with the gun finally has something worth fighting for.
Then why is you crying?
You scaring me.
Why is I'm scaring you?
Because you scared.
Where in hell?
If you've seen Bone Tomahawk, you already know why this is sitting at number 1, don't you? Kurt Russell, he leads a small-town sheriff posse into the desert to rescue captives from a tribe of cannibalistic troglodytes. What starts as a slow, tense journey, it turns into something closer to a nightmare, and then it delivers one of the most infamous scenes in modern cinema. And I'm talking about the "I wish I could unsee it" moment. A captive, he's scalped alive, split open, and hacked in half, starting at his nether regions, working their way up, while still screaming. It's not implied, it's shown. Up close and unrelenting. Even hardened horror fans sat up straight for that one. And the rest of the film, it doesn't exactly go very easy either. Arrows thud into bodies, bones snap, and every wound lingers long enough to make you shift in your seat. When the violence finally hits, it feels like a lightning strike, shocking and impossible to look away from. By the time the credits roll, You just know one thing for certain. Out on that frontier, there were fates a whole lot worse than just getting shot.
And I've killed more Indians than everyone here put together.
Well, it's an ugly boast.
It isn't a boast, but a fact.
All right, Vault Riders. You've done seen the West stripped of polish, mercy, and good manners. That's all 36 films, meaner than a mule with a burr under its tail. And if you rode along this far, I reckon you like it rough. So don't you be shy. You go hit that like button and subscribe so I know to keep on digging up more from the vault. And here's where you come in. What brutal moment stuck with you the hardest? Or what kind of series you want me to saddle up for next? Could be war flicks, could be revenge thrillers. Hell, maybe even something bloodier if you got the stomach for it. There's links for part 1 and part 2 right here, so if you missed those, you go circle back and finish the ride. Until next time, lock and load, partners, and keep the reels rolling.
Turn off. Yeah, I'm on you there. I'm here, Nick. I'm right here.